message today is about embracing the uniqueness that is you. Embracing the unique way in which Spirit utilizes you. Embracing the unique way in which you vibrate. Embracing the unique way in which your spirit guides communicate with you. Embracing the unique way in which your evolution is coming about. Not all of us are going to go through the exact same thing the exact same way. Not all of us learn the same way, communicate the same way, love the same way, grow the same way. But what is a shared experience is that we are experiencing a radical rebirth, divine feminines. We are experiencing a radical, unconventional rebirthing of divine femininity. It starts with us, right? And it trickles down to the rest of humanity. We are prioritizing our transformation, right? And so Spirit today, the mother is saying to continue prioritizing the transformation. The answers to your questions, the answers to the solutions to your problems, they may not come the way you expect them to come. This next level, this next elevation, this next portion of your evolution may not look anything like what you've already mastered, right? Because learning and growing never stops, and when you step into a particular frequency, or when certain giftings and things begin to come online and you start seeing things with a certain spiritual clarity, it is two different phases primarily that we go through. It is the awakening, and then after you have awakened, you have to master being awakened. So if you are in the phase of being the awakened, then everything you're going to learn is about mastering that frequency, mastering that position. And as you master that, then you move into whatever is next. And then you have to also master that. And so we never stop learning and we never stop growing. We are experiencing right now a radical rebirth of divine feminine power, divine feminine essence, right? And so we're being called to learn from our failures. We are being called to look at where we have failed and learn from those failures. And this is how you break karmic cycles. This is how you move out of karmic cycles and you bring closure to certain cycles in your life that you've been living out repetitively, that do not benefit nor aid nor serve you. How you break those cycles is by being willing to learn from the failure. I don't care if this is a failure in your business. If you've tried to produce a certain business, or anything having to do with entrepreneurship, we've been taught, and I believe it to be true. You don't give up when something fails. You just tweak it and try it again. Because how do you reach success if you don't fail first? Because most of the time success comes after failure. A lot of times we get to failure and then we give up. But the failure is not designed for you to give up. If you have had relationships and they have all failed, it doesn't mean walk around jaded as if, there's nobody that's going to possibly be able to ever love me. It just means you need to look at why it keeps failing? What are you contributing or not contributing to your love relationships that causes them to fail? Learning from failure is how you create a radical rebirth. Learning from your failure is how you break karmic cycles. We wouldn't be here right now if there was something we didn't still need to learn from the last time we was here. If there was not something you still needed to learn that you didn't get in a past life, you wouldn't be here in this lifetime. There's still something more, right? And so the mother wants us to prioritize our transformation and not wallow in the events and experiences that do not feel like we want them to feel, that do not play out the way we want them to play out. She doesn't want us to wallow. She doesn't want us to give up on ourselves, on our destinies, on our purpose. Because if we give up, then we forfeit and we turn over, the impact that we have as divine feminines on this planet. We yield it over to something and someone's whose it is not their destiny and purpose to have it. This is about divine feminine essence and power. I've said it in many videos, and I will always remind us that we are the mothers of this planet. Okay? We are the life-giving force of this planet. And so, because we have such for one, a privilege, okay, but for two, a responsibility, then we can never give up on ourselves as individuals and as a sisterhood. We can never give up on ourselves, right? And if we manage, which we will, if we manage to remember the uniqueness that is divine feminine power, its uniqueness separate and apart from divine masculinity, and I say separate and apart, okay, because for the whole to be healthy, each individual piece has to be healthy. For the child to come here healthy, the mother who's carrying it has to make sure she is healthy during gestational periods. She has to take her little vitamins and stuff. She has to eat well, drink her water and everything. Get out, do a little walk and get some sun. All of that. Right? So, for divine masculinity to be healthy, the divine feminine has to find herself in a place of wholeness and wellness. So we cannot give up on our rebirth. Yes, the shedding, the giving up of things, the shadow work, the hermit modes, all of those things, the loss that we experience, the loss of relationships, the loss of whatever it is, addictions, the relearning how to be divinely feminine is not an easy process. And make no mistake, it's not easy, right? And just when you think you've, healed and everything, there's something else that needs to be healed, because we have to remember we're not just healing trauma from this lifetime. We're healing a lot of the trauma we're healing is from previous lifetimes. Going back millenniums. It takes time. It takes patience. It takes honesty with yourself as to how you got here, how you got in this predicament, in whatever area of your life you feel you are bound in or wrestling with something or struggling. In whatever area of your life that it doesn't look like the way you want it to look like. Honesty. Get honest with yourself. If you've been walking around feeling like your shit don't stink, then you're only deceiving you. Because everybody else around here smell your shit and it do stink. I mean, if you want to walk around that like it don't stink, I mean, hey, if you want to walk around smelling like hot, fresh boo-boo on a platter and thinking you smell like, you know what I'm saying? If that's how you want to walk around smelling, then okay. But don't try to convince nobody else that they not smelling boo-boo coming up off you, because they are. Now, arrogance and ego the self is only deceiving you. Being honest with yourself as to what you have contributed is the fastest way to move yourself into a radical rebirth. Figuring out why that business failed is the fastest way to relaunch it better, bigger than it was. It's not for you to give up because you tried one time and it seemed like nobody was really fucking with it. Let me tell you something. As an entrepreneur, and I've owned several businesses. I've always had some margin of success with all of them, but some of the business I had did better than others, right? And so I kind of know a little bit about business success and business failure. And you can't do something one time and think that you just gon', have mass success the first time you let somebody know that this is what you're selling, or this is what you're doing, or you can't give up on it. And then it's like, you can't do it once. If you're producing something, let's say you make your own oils. You love herbs and flowers and florals, and so you're gonna put together your own soap line, or you're gonna put together your own oil line, or you're gonna start doing crystal jewelry, or whatever the case may be. You can't produce just like one or two little necklaces, or 15 of them, and then just put your little ad up once on the good Facebook marketplace, and then nobody bought one, and so you feel like you just gonna give up on it. You're never gonna have a viable business if you give up because nobody bought the bait or bit the bait the first time. You have to work. You have to keep going. You have to keep going. You have to find other avenues and other platforms and other ways to get your product out there. Right? So I don't know why I'm laying into business. Maybe someone that's listening to me is wanting to launch a business or has already launched it, and maybe your first time out the gate it didn't really catch. It ain't caught hold yet. It doesn't mean give up on it. Maybe you need to change your marketing technique. Maybe you need to change your demographic and who you're trying to reach with it. Maybe you need to think a little bit out of the box. 100 people could have done the same business and done it the same way. But that doesn't mean that is going to work for you, because there is a uniqueness about you that you have to discover. Whenever I start a business, the first thing I ask, because it's always somebody else doing the same thing, and that's not a problem. Competition is good. It's good for business, right? But the first thing I ask when I decide I want to start a business in whatever industry is, now how do I make my business stand out? How do I make my business stand out? Because there's going to be many people selling the same thing, providing the same service, and so the lane is crowded. It's crowded. You ain't the only one in that lane. You ain't the only one. Now, how do I cut my own lane? I'm going to let them go over there and keep riding bumper to bumper with each other. But how do I cut my own lane? Because there is a uniqueness that is me. You have to find your uniqueness. The spirit and your spirit guides, our spirit guides, have decided to encourage us today to find our uniqueness. Learn from our failures so that we can experience the radical rebirth, the transformation that is here available now. But in order for you to access this radical rebirth, you have to get honest with yourself. You know, there's a point in a time where, you know, people always be like, you know, you got to give yourself grace. And even I've said it, you know, and you do. You got to give yourself grace, because you're learning and you're growing and everything, and you don't know everything. And so therefore, be easy on yourself. Gotcha. But after you know some stuff, if you still find yourself, you know, not living out to the fullest of what is at your disposal, and you have knowledge of these tools and you don't use them, well, sweetheart, it's not time for grace. It's time for you to straight up and down give yourself the business. You don't wait for nobody to come kick you in your behind. You don't need nobody else to call you out. You can do that for yourself if you're willing to be honest. If you're willing to say, you know what, look, listen, young lady, I don't know what the hell you got going on. I don't really know what the hell you got going on, but this ain't it. This ain't it now. Now you know better. You know better. And see, this is what I mean when I talk about us learning how to mother ourselves. It's not always, oh, I'm gonna be all right, and you know, I'm here for you, and it's gonna be okay. We're gonna just patty cake, you know what I'm saying, and play patty cake with each other, and just hold and rock each other and nurture and soothe myself in self-care all the time. Sometimes it's like on mama mode, like I don't know what the hell what look, hey, you better tighten up. You better tighten up. You need right now, I mean right now, here today. Straighten up, fly right. Straighten up now. Now you know too much. You're too smart. You're too intelligent. You're too powerful to be sitting around here twiddling your damn thumbs as if you don't know what the marching orders is. You don't know how to tend to yourself. And I had to do that yesterday. I was really kind of, little private conversation with myself. Like, look, get up. Do what you know you've been given the power to do when it comes to managing your own energy. Do what you know and stop acting like you don't know what the hell going on. And stop allowing your mind to be so busy with other things that have no relevance at all to destiny and or purpose. Get up, shake that off. You know what you're supposed to do. And this is the honesty we have to have with ourselves in certain moments, divine feminines. This is the honesty, the truth. We have to have the ability to move ourselves into our own truth. Prioritizing our transformation is of the utmost importance. Learning from our failures is how you stop failing over and over and over and over and over again.